Okay.
Hello and welcome everybody to our Fall Festival Knit Along. Hello, I see someone just joined us. We have Michelle from Massachusetts and we have iPhone. I'm not quite sure. Would you like to introduce yourself and say hello?
My name is Beth.
Beth. Hi, Beth.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining us. Where are you from?
I'm from Indianapolis area.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I was there once, many years ago. Um, SJ Cap, are you there?
I am. I'm there. My
Okay.
camera is not working though.
Oh,
But I can
okay.
hear you and I certainly can see you. So that's
Okay.
good. I'm in Virginia
You're in
and
Virginia. Oh, what a lovely place.
absolutely. And I anything you want to teach, I want to learn. That's great. I particularly want to learn about the acorns because I think they're so cute.
Yeah, they are so cute. We'll see what we have time for today. I was going to start with some of the easier ones and kind of show a couple tips on those. But if you want to go ahead and have me show you a couple tips on the acorns, if you want to get started on those this week, I'm happy to do so. Um, so about what level of knitting is everyone?
I would have to say I think high, intermediate, advanced, maybe.
Mhm.
Not perfectionist, but I do a lot of knitting.
That's great. You'll be great for these. And Beth, how about you?
I'm beginner.
Beginner? That's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
You may want to start with like the pumpkins. They're probably the simplest and work your way
Okay.
up. Um, but you know, knitting is, they have all these different levels of knitting and that's fine. That's helpful. But on the other hand, if you just learn a tip on how to do something, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or what you are, you learn a way of doing something and usually you can do it. And so I can show you some ways of getting through.
Okay.
So, okay, I should ask,
Susan, I'm intermediate.
you're
I've been
intermediate.
knitting for Yeah, I've been knitting for 40 years.
Oh, you won't have
And
any problems then.
oh no, I don't anticipate it. But I just wanted to see what you were doing, really.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Okay. I'm going to flip it now to my camera and I just want to show you what I've been working on myself in the last couple of days. Um, I'm just finishing up this pumpkin and I've made the large pumpkin I've used. Everybody's got the patterns, I assume.
Hmm.
And so there are 5 patterns. There is a new one added this year for the pumpkins that are smaller than this. This is the largest one, knit with double strand, two strands. But it's very easy. You cast on the number of stitches. Here's the smaller one, knit with one strand. You cast on the number of stitches. You knit in the round with your double pointed needles or with magic loop, whatever you prefer, and stuff it, which is what I just did this morning on this one. I just stuffed this one, and I'm in the process of cinching down the top so that it looks more like a pumpkin, so that it's pulled together. Otherwise, you just have this tube with stuffing in it. So you get down to the bottom, you run a uh, line through the cast on stitches and then you start, and I like to stab in different places just according to how things look. Like maybe I want to cinch this down a little bit so that it doesn't stick up. It's not urgent, it's not, it's very free form. So I've already come up, and I can pull these out. I've already come up twice and um caught some moved over just a little bit, gone back through, moved over just a little bit. And by the way, do it with a sharper needle. A needle like this doesn't get through all the stuffing. And then you do 5 little bites. So I've done 2, so I'm going to do just 5 little bites along the top here, just to get it. I just wanted to show this part because some people might have an issue with it. Cinch it down, come up again. We just have 2 more to do. And you can see we have a nice little pumpkin here. And it actually looks like a pumpkin. It's shaped.
I like I like how you do that without having to wrap the yarn around. You know how some patterns take the yarn around and stitch it? You
Right.
just do it by, yeah.
Right.
I like how that looks without having to do that.
Yeah, I like this very much. And I love the way that you can. Oh, I'm looking here. I was going to say that I did this in single. No, I did this one in double as well. It's just the smaller size. And the pattern is very straightforward. I can pull it up. Let me look through it. Does anyone have any questions about the mushroom pattern in general? I mean, not the mushroom, the pumpkin, the fall festival pumpkin patch pattern. Maybe Beth, don't be shy. Do you have any questions? Because if you're more on the beginner end and you ask something, there might be a lot of people on the recording that, it will help them.
Not right now, I don't. No.
Not right now. Okay. Now, I will admit, just a few minutes ago while I was finishing this, I mean, the pattern is straightforward, knit 2 together, and you're going around with my double pointed needles, which I like double pointed needles, and I'll show you a tip if you have a question about how to keep ladders from forming. You know what? I'm going to mute you, SJ, just because of the noise. There we go. I felt like I was starting to yell. um, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I was following the pattern, and as it got closer here towards the end, and I was, doing all the knit 2 togethers and purl 2 togethers at the top of the pumpkin, it got kind of tough, and I have to say it wasn't like pretty knitting. You know what I mean? It was kind of stab it in and get it around any way that you can. But that's kind of the way it is for these when you get down to such a small area, particularly on the ones that the larger pumpkins that have the double use double yarn. So let's see, before I go farther, I can show you I've got some leaves finished here. I think there are just 4 different kinds of leaves. And those oh, 3 different kinds. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
These 2 are the same. There's just 3 different kinds of leaves, and they're really not as hard as they look. There is just the left lifted and the right lifted increases that if you're not familiar with those, I will show you how to do those. And well, I'll explain more about that later. And then these are the little acorns. And I have to say that these are not beginner. If you're not really proficient in double needles, they're going to be a little bit fussy and fiddly to make. This part I found harder than the cap. The caps aren't so hard. But oops, here, that's upside down. Let's see, I think it goes like that, but they're just adorable. And if I had grandkids, I'd have a whole bowl of them sitting for them to play with. I think that'd be perfect on the Thanksgiving table, maybe the kids' table or something. I don't know. Any number of ways. I just think they're just adorable and so much fun to play with. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I was going to start with showing the birch leaf, if that's all right with you, just so that I can demonstrate these left lifted increases. So cast on 9 stitches, and that's right where I am right now. I just cast on 9 stitches for the birch leaf. And very straightforward, knit 4, purl 1, knit 4. So knit 4. Purl 1. Knit 4. And yeah, 3, 4. And what the purl 1 obviously is it's going to start creating this line here. So this row was the wrong side row, and so it's going to start creating this this purl 1 right here is going to create this nice little stockinette line that goes up your leaf. So row 2, this is the right side now, is knit 1, and then it says left lifted increase. Now, if you go to look on YouTube for a left lifted increase, you have to go, they'll tell you to go down another row to pull up the stitch onto your needle. But because we don't have another row here, and what they're asking us to do is to make these increases as invisible as possible. So let's take this little purl down here, because this is as far down as we can go, right? We'll take this little purl down there, we'll put it on our needle, and we'll knit it. Now it's a left lifted increase because it's on the left side of this stitch. If it were a right lifted increase, you would do the increase before you knit this stitch. So does that make sense? Whenever it says a left lifted increase, it's always on the left side of the stitch. So there's the left lifted increase. We knit to the last stitch. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I really hadn't done too many left lifted increases before. I did these a couple of years ago. I started doing these, but I find I really like them because they're extremely invisible. You just really don't see, there are no gaps or anything like that. So now this is a right lifted increase, so we'll do it before we knit the stitch. So we'll take that little purl bump there, and because it naturally goes on twisted, you can either do that and put it on correctly or knit it through the back loop. And we'll do that again in case anyone watching has questions. So there's row 2, and I want to do just a couple more rows. Just to get us through a couple more of these increases. 3, 4, 5. Purl 1. because we're trying to get that nice little stockinette stitch going up the center of the leaf. There we are. And this is the right side, so you can start seeing the leaf taking shape with that little beginning of the now row 4 is knit 1, and now we're going to do a left lifted increase, so we need to do it on this side of the stitch. And do you see, if I naturally put it up on the left lifted increase, that it's naturally oriented correctly to where I won't have a twisted stitch? Can you see that? If I were to, I mean, it wouldn't be natural, but just for instance, if I were to orient it this direction and knit, you can see it would be all twisted. That, I mean, I don't think you're going to make that mistake on this side. So there's left lifted increase, knit to the last stitch again, and do another right lifted increase. And here we're getting to the end. And then a right lifted increase, take that little knot, put it on, and because it's oriented it's oriented backwards, I'll knit through the back loop on that. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone here probably knows fine, but to anyone listening who is maybe more starting out with knitting, it's just really important to learn how to read your stitches and what they look like. It will help you understand. Sometimes things get twisted for whatever reason, and it's nice if you can read them and say, oh, I don't know why, but this stitch is twisted, I need to fix it. And then this birch leaf in particular is really simple, because if you get the left lifted increase and the right lifted increase down, then you're not going to have any problems. You just do the slip knits as you get farther to the end. And I'm not sure there's really anything else to teach you by going farther on this one. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. When you do the stem, you have to pick up the stitches down here to do an I-cord.
Yeah, so let me see the directions.
I know I'm getting a little further along, but
no, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because I think I had that question. Hold on, let me turn on I've got the patterns on my iPad and I don't want my iPad to die here. So let me see the directions. Yes, pick up and knit 3 stitches. So go
pick
ahead.
them up on the wrong side or the right side of the leaf? Or does it matter?
I don't. Oh, you know what? I picked them up, I think, on the right side. Doesn't that look like I picked them up on the right side here?
I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I wasn't sure if it would, but
Yeah, I'm not sure it really matters. What can I show you on? I didn't have one to that point. Well, here, why don't I show you on here? And let me take another color. It'll be a little bit difficult with the, but this is the, okay, no, this is the right side. So let's do it on the right side and let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to pick up, let's leave a little bit so that I can weave in that end when I'm done. Pick up. Pick up. and pick up. Slide it to the other end. This is not the right size. I've got a bunch of needles here, but I'm going to use it anyway. And if everybody knows how to do I-cord, this is how it's done. I like to do it on double pointed needles, but you can use a short circular needle as well. That's perfectly fine. I've done it many times on that. But every time you finish a row, you just slide it to the other end and knit again. Knit the 3 stitches again. And what happens is you're knitting around in kind of a little circle by pulling that stitch around on the back side every row. You can see. So I don't know, Michelle, I think that looks nice.
It does look nice. I guess it doesn't really matter if you do the wrong or the right side. That's what I wasn't clear on.
You know, I think I would do the right side because look at what it looks like on the wrong side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think I would. I
Okay.
think I just
Good to-
instinctively did it on those and didn't really think too much about it. So I'm glad you asked the question.
I'll put that on the pattern, right
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, the right side. Pick them up on the right side.
Thank you.
Yes. How about anyone else? Anyone else have any questions about I-cords in general and these in particular? Oops. I just love I-cord. I think I've heard people say they don't like to knit it. I just love knitting it.
So neat.
Yeah, it's so neat. And it kind of reminds me of those loops. You're probably not all my age. Um, but I remember my mom putting nails into a wooden spool for me
Yes.
and doing those little cords. And it's essentially the same thing. It's just done in a different fashion. But I can stop. But it's kind of like potato chips for me. It's hard for me to stop.
Mhm.
Uh, there. And then I would take this end and, tightly tie one knot and then, weave it down. It won't show if it's the same color. And if it isn't the same color, then I would just, abort it real quickly here. I mean, that's kind of pretty to have a different color. I hadn't done that
It is.
before. So good question. Good question. All right. And then I wanted to move on to this guy, the maple leaf, I think this one is, and talk about that for just a minute because it has some abbreviations in there that might need to be addressed. So I've cast on 27 stitches. I wanted to save all of you the drama of that. um, and then we have, let's see, row 1, 3, 5, and 7. Again, we're starting with the wrong side, and it will be, those are all the same. So let's go ahead and do these so that you can kind of see. And let's see, we've got 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. And purl 1. Knit 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. whoops, I split that one. 5, 6. Now, did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Purl 1. And see what you're creating here are these veins. Knit 6, purl 1, knit 6, purl 1, knit 6, purl 1. You see, you're creating these veins. And you're kind of like, but I'm knitting flat. How is it going to do that? And it's just magic, the way that it pulls up and creates. See, 4, 5, 6, purl 1, and then the last 6. So it's not terribly amazing looking at this point. Okay, so row 2 is knit 1. Easy for me to say, huh? Knit 1, and then they want us to do a right lifted increase. So this is what I wanted to be sure and make clear. If I did the increase right here, that would be what? Can anybody say, if I did the increase on this stitch, what would that be considered? A right or a left lifted increase?
Right.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, that's why I want to try to make this clear. If I do it on this side of the stitch, it's the left side of the stitch. So it would be a left lifted increase.
Okay.
So because it says right lifted increase, I know that it wants me to put it on this stitch here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now I want oops, here. So I want a right lifted increase. And it's a little bit wonky because for lifted increases, you're really supposed to go down the next row. So I do want to make that caveat that if you were knitting along in a sweater or a scarf or whatever, and you needed to do this kind of an increase, you would reach for this row. And so, well, maybe I should reach for that row. I'm not sure. Let's do it and see what it looks like. That might be exactly what I want. And once again, you can see that my stitch is oriented incorrectly for knitting this way. So I need to knit through the back, through that back loop. Let's do this and see what it looks like. Oh, it looks great. It looks wonderful, and it's completely invisible. So there's our answer for, reach down onto the cast on row when you're working that first row. Okay. Okay, before I go on, does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And then knit 4. And then it has an S2KP2. So that's slip 2, knit, pass over 2. So this is what is going to start pulling everything up so that when it comes off the needle and you're up to here, you'll have this shape. So slip 2. So slip 2, knit, and pass these 2 that we slipped, And what I do is I kind of cinch down on that stitch so that it pulls through nicely. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of, you can see there, those are the two that I passed over. So we'll do this again. So knit 5. Wouldn't it be fun if we were all sitting in a room together?
Mm.
That would be so lovely to be able to do it live. So here we are. We can see that we've, we did something there. Make one left. So, all right. Can anyone tell me make one left means to do it on which side? Would I do it on this stitch or would I do it on this stitch?
The stitch between them.
Right. I would do it on the left side of this stitch. And when you do the left, I'll show you again, it just naturally is oriented correctly on the left one. It's the right one that you have to watch out for. And actually look at these increases. They are virtually invisible and they're brilliant. I'm really liking them. Knit 1. And then it says, make one right. So make one right would be, oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that. Make one right. Yeah, okay. So it's just inserting the needle from the back. So I like to lift it up like this because it's hard for me to get down like this, but it's the bar in between here. You put up on the right or left needle, and then you knit it through the front loop. Okay, make one right. Knit 5. That one, make one right, makes sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And then the slip 2, knit, and pass these two over the stitch I just knitted. And I kind of give this one a tug when I do this so that it pops through the other side. And I think I got something stuck here. No, I didn't. It's good. Okay, so that's the slip, knit 4. And now left lifted increase, which means I do it on this stitch. Left lifted. And knit 1. So that was kind of a eventful row. But you can see right here that it's already started to give you that little that little bit of shaping in the leaf. Do you want to continue on with this one to see what it looks like as we go on, or would you like to move on to something else?
Whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Let's do another row or two then. So then we're on row 3 again. So we do the same thing as the first row, knit 6. This is a trickier one, so it probably will be good for more people to see. 3, 4, 6. Purl 1. One. knit 6. I just finished a sock class, teaching a sock class for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And my friend did the talking and the teaching how to do it, and I did the demonstrating. And so I'm in the mode of just knitting and not having to actually talk at the same time. 6, purl 1, knit
Have you
6,
yourself made any of the garlands with all this?
3. You mean like the leaf garland?
Yes.
Um, I mean, I've just made these leaves. I've knit one of each leaf, at
Mm-hmm.
least one. But as far as stringing them up, is that what you have a question
Yes.
about?
No, I was just wondering if you've done it, if you put acorns in it, or did you put little pumpkins
Oh,
and how
yeah.
you strung them?
Okay, so I would string them with like a piece of like a thin jute of of some
Okay.
kind that kind of
Yeah.
looked like branches of a tree. And I don't have mine. I have some, but it's not here. I think it's put away. And I would just tack it once. I wouldn't do a whole lot of, a lot of
Yeah.
tacking. I would just take one stitch, maybe tie a knot, go on, take another stitch. Now, as far as doing acorns, I think, I mean, that's a great idea. So I love these kinds of questions because so what would you do? Would you um put a piece of even thread that wasn't very visible and tie it in between the jute so that it would hang down? Otherwise, you'd have things all kind of the same height. I almost think it'd be prettier to have them different heights. What do you
Uh-huh.
think? Like make this, here's the jute running through.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here's what I use for other things. So here's the jute running through, and then I think I would take either fishing line or just something invisible piece of sewing thread, go through obviously both the cap and the base so
Right.
that it caught all together, and then strung them at different levels.
Mm-hmm. That would look
Now,
nice.
yeah, I think that would be so cute. That's a great idea. Now, as far as pumpkins, I think these would be too heavy to add to the
Yes.
mix. But there is the new pattern this year is the mini pumpkins. And I don't have one of those made here because they're so similar to the other one. I wasn't going to
Uh-huh.
do it. But what I love about the mini pumpkin is you can do it rib, regular rib like this. You can do it broken rib, which would
Oh.
just have a different texture with it. Or the third option is to do it in seed stitch. And I don't know if I can show you here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Let me unplug it for a second. Can you see that? Oh, you see my light.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's get it in focus. There you go. See, there's the regular rib one, and there's a seed stitch one. I mean, you have these, or you either have the patterns now or you will have them.
Well, yeah.
And this is the broken rib one. And these are much smaller. These are 6 inches after stuffing, so that's like 3 inches across. So they're like, they're
Mm-hmm.
really small. So they might be light enough. Their height is only 1 inch after cinching. So they might be light enough
Oh.
to be able to hang from
Mm-hmm.
from that garland. Oh, that'd be
And will
so.
that pattern come with the kit?
Yes, you should have. Did you, when you should have received an email. It might have gone to your junk folder, but you should have received an
Oh,
email with all the downloads when you
oh,
placed your
okay.
order.
I'll
Now,
check that out.
if you didn't, then please write to our support line at support@tdknitter.com. And it's on our website too, and ask for them just to resend your link, because you will have your own personal link to download.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. But yeah, that'd be just so cute. Maybe you could do a couple acorns, a pumpkin. I would probably do more. You'd have to test the pumpkin thing out, but
Yeah.
maybe that would work very well. Yeah, cute. Or you could even hang. Well, no, I think I would put the leaves directly on the jute. Or another thing I thought of trying is either putting a real branch down flat in the middle of a Thanksgiving table, and then attaching and decorating around this branch with the different.
I like that. I like that idea
items.
a lot.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And the mushrooms, and that would be just great.
That'd be beautiful.
So, yeah. So I guess I probably don't need to knit farther on this one. As long as you have the understanding of the which side of the, if it's a left lifted, you do it, it's considered the left side of this stitch. If it's a right lifted, it's considered the right side of this stitch. So if they say right lifted, they want you to use this. And I would use this, because this down here, you can see you've just got the same stitch. You need to go down one row and put that one up. Anyway, that's that. Let me switch my camera back and see if you all have any other questions. Oops. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that anybody wants me to demonstrate or show? Oh, the acorn. You wanted me to talk about the acorns. I'm so sorry. I forgot about that. Okay. Let me put this back. The acorns are trickier. I will not kid you. They are trickier. So let's see, I was going to set this one up with acorns. What size do the acorns call for? Let me open up my pattern here. The acorns call for 6. I guess they all call for 6. This is 5. Let's use 5. Well, maybe we could try using the larger size. Six. Here we go. We got four 6s here. So I don't recommend, if you hate double pointed needles and you never want to see, never want to use them, then I don't recommend doing this, to be honest. So you cast on 3 stitches, slide the stitches to the other end of the needle like you're doing an I-cord, and knit all these stitches. think they want just a little pip at the bottom of the, let me see if they want, yeah, see if you look at the the completed picture, there's just a little bit of a, I'm calling it a pip, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, just a little bit of a nubbin there at the end of the acorn, and that's what creates that. That's what they want. Okay, then you divide it onto 3 double pointed needles like this. The first stitch, knit front and back. Well, keep doing the same thing. Knit front and back. So that's 1 needle. Next stitch, knit front and back. Stick them to the middle. It's one reason why I like these Likey double pointed needle sets is they have this little dark thing in the middle, and for some reason it helps me remember to slide everything, aside from the fact that I just love how they feel. Knit front and back. So now we've got three needles with 2 stitches each on them. So now we want to knit the next row. This one needs to go to the middle so that I don't lose it. And we just want to knit in all 6 stitches all the way around. So now it's kind of hard here because we only have 2 stitches on, but to avoid making ladders, which we don't want any ladders or spaces on this in particular, you know, give that second stitch. When you change needles, you knit the first stitch like normal, and then the second stitch needs to be kind of levered down. It pulls this stitch down tighter and avoids a ladder. However, it's a little tricky because we just have 2 on that needle. Let's see. I feel like an octopus. 2. Okay. And then 1 more.
What is the brand of the double pointed needles you're using?
These are called Likey or Lika, or I think Likey is actually not correctly pronounced, but that's what everybody seems to say. So over here in the US. So yeah, I think I still have some sets left in the shop. But they're my favorite. They come
I've never
They-
seen them with the middle like that.
yeah, they come in wonderful little packages like this. And there's a set of smalls that go from size 0 to size 5, I think. And then the larger ones go from
Oh, wow.
6 on up to,
Are they wooden?
yes, they're wooden. They're birch, and they're handcrafted in Nepal.
Oh, wow.
And
Mhm.
I really do love them. Okay, so I knitted all the way around, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now comes the fun. Knit 1, left lifted increase. So
Oh,
here we are. We want to do the increase on this stitch. So I see a little nubbin down here, and I will pick it up. It's oriented incorrectly, so I'll knit through the back loop. And there's a left lifted increase there. Now you need to do a right lifted increase. So here's another little nubbin.
Ooh.
Pull it up. There we go. And again, through the back loop. And then knit one, I believe. Let's see, let me look at the instructions. Yeah, knit one. So then we have to increase on every needle like that. So you can see it again. And when I'm holding on to this, I keep pulling this little guy down so that I make sure that everything is all oriented, the same way. As I'm dealing with my arms, all my extra arms. So knit one, left lifted increase, and then if they're too loose, they want to slide off. Left lifted, oh, I lost it. Left lifted increase. You can see it's not really pretty knitting. It's kind of
Awkward.
It's awkward and it's not pretty, but you'll see it'll start taking shape. And then now let's do the right lifted increase on this stitch. And I'm just not going to let go of that one. I'm going to follow through. And if you knit loosely, these needles will start falling off while you're working on something else. So I tend to knit a little more tightly to try to keep everything left. Right. And knit one. So now I have 4 stitches on each needle. I had 2 on each needle. Now I have yeah, that's correct. I had, yeah, okay. So then I have 12 stitches, 4 on each needle. Now I knit another round. Fortunately, they're short, so you just struggle for a little while. You don't have many rows to. Like I said, if I had grandkids coming over, I probably would make a whole bowl of these because they're just so cute, and I just think a child would have so much fun putting the caps on and off. Okay, now one more. You sort of have to keep track on these knit rows that you can't really see if you've done anything. You sort of have to keep track of where you are, because obviously a stitch marker as a row beginning and ending marker would not work. They would be flying everywhere. And the stitch kind of comes out of the middle, so you wouldn't be able to but you can see here that we're making a little, you see here, we're making a little acorn. So it does work. Now I'm on round 4. So let's see, no, I'm on row 6. So this one I would knit one. This may be the one that people need the most help with. anyway, so we can spend a little bit of time. I'm lifted increase. So now we've got instead of having a purl bump down here, we've got a knit stitch. So here you can see the knit stitch that is below. Here's the stitch I just worked. Here's the stitch from last row, and this one down is the stitch that we need to look for, and grab the left leg of that. And there you are, an invisible left lifted increase. Knit 2. And now we need a right lifted increase. So here's my stitch. Here's the next one down. We don't go 2 down on this one because we haven't knit this stitch yet. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
If we knit this stitch already, we'd look at this one and then do this one, which would be down 2. But because it's the right one, there it is. So right lifted increase. Now these rows are easy to keep track of because you've done something different, and you can see if you've worked that needle yet. So let's do another couple. Knit 1, and left lifted increase. Yeah, not that one. We want this one. Left lifted increase, knit 2. Right lifted increase. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. There we go. Sometimes I have to decide which one I'm going to take. I have to get a good look at it. Okay, and we're moving through. Let me look something. Actually, this is the right side right here. The stockinette side is the right side. So the way we have it here is we have a nice little nubbin forming at the bottom, and this is being knit into the acorn, so you won't have to put it through when you're done, for what it's worth. Anyway, continue on with that. In that method, let's see, 24 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 18, and then I would knit again, do that same thing again, increasing at each end of every needle, and then we would knit 4 rows. And then we start doing the decreasing, and I don't think I so much need to show that. You've got that, Michelle?
I have it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The beginning is the toughest, and the most confusing is just sort of wrangling those needles for the first few rows is a little tough, but you can see we've got the beginning of an acorn, and they do go really fast from this point on. And the caps, I thought the caps were easy to make. They're pretty straightforward. So So, okay. Looks like we lost somebody, but I appreciate you hanging in with me.
Well, it's
Uh,
been good.
yeah. Do you have any other questions or?
Not right now. Nope.
Not right now? Okay.
Nope.
Well, what you can do is you can start working on a few of them this week. And then if you do run into any questions, we're going to have one more next weekend, and they're not going to be demonstratively differently. I just was giving people a choice of two weekends because this is a popular kit and a popular item people like. So if you end up having any questions that you need to pop back on next weekend, I'll be here.
Okay, great. All
Yeah.
righty.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Pam.
you're very welcome. It was lovely to meet you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
You too.
Thank you. And SJ and Myrna, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if you're still there and can say bye, but thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. See you
You
next
too.
week.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.